So, good morning, Abby. It's Monday, and you may be wondering, Molly, what the heck are you doing? I feel like you guys wonder that every single time I post a video, because every time I do a video, it's something weird that I haven't done before, and I feel like you're all just like, Molly, like, what are you doing with your life? Answer, I don't know either. Today, we're just gonna, draw and talk about some stuff, and it's gonna be fun, hopefully. It'll be fun for me, because I just get to kind of draw and talk for a bit. I don't know if it'll be fun for you. I hope it'll be fun for you. I'm rambling. Anyway, you may be wondering what exactly I am drawing. I am going to be drawing Christine Canigula from the musical Be More Chill, which is a great musical that everyone should check out, by the way. And yeah, we're just gonna draw her and have a good time. I am really bad at speaking, aren't I? Okay, so I guess, like, a small retraction on my statement about Be More Chill. Like, I will admit that Be More Chill has some flaws in its story, and some of its music can get annoying. I admit that it has problems. But at the same time, like, this summer, I have just kind of been on a musical theater binge, because surprisingly, the girl with social anxiety wants to go into theater. How? Who? I don't know either. Anyway, I've just been trying to acquaint myself with some musicals, so I'm a little more knowledgeable about the thing that I may want to do for a profession. Be More Chill was really the only musical that I listened to that, like, I deeply connected with. There were lots that I liked, like Hamilton, Wicked, Hairspray, Guys and Dolls. They're all great, but, like, I don't know, something about Be More Chill's story just stuck with me, and here I am, and I'm fangirling about it still, and drawing fan art of Christine on the internet. So yeah. Watch Be More Chill. It's good, I promise. And of course, the one day I decided to record myself drawing, I am having trouble doing Christine anatomy. Like, you don't understand, all this week I have been, like, surprisingly good at drawing Christine. That was the whole reason why I wanted to make this video, because I was like, hey, I'm finally confident in my abilities for once. Let's, like, show them to the world. And then now it's just like, nope, you suck now. Get used to it. Yeah, as you can see, I'm struggling here. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. So, how's everybody's summer been, I guess? Anyway, this is just a crappy segue so that I can start talking about, like, dental stuff now, because I've had a surprising amount of dental problems this summer. Fun. It started when, like, one of my back teeth actually had, like, a chunk of it come off. And then I didn't think we had dental insurance, so like a dummy, I proceeded to not tell my parents about it for like a month because I didn't want to cause them money problems, because Lord knows we have enough. But that's a whole different discussion. But then I finally got into the dentist, so now I have a temporary filling in the back of my mouth, which is going to be removed after 45 days, and if I did my math correct, then that is like around August 25th. And also, then, like, 3 days after I went to the dentist, I had another chunk of tooth fall out, and a different tooth this time. I hate getting fillings, because you have to keep your mouth open for so long. So that's gonna be a fun time. I'm looking forward to that. I'm being sarcastic, by the way. Very, very, very sarcastic. By the way, the reason I can keep doing those little random ASMR bits for no reason is because in order to get this video to be able to record myself drawing, I had to do, like, the most ridiculous video setup that I think has ever been done by anyone in the history of ever. Because I encountered so many problems that I was not expecting. So, the long and short of it is that right now, my webcam is hanging upside down from the arm of a lawn chair. Yeah. And I am sitting on the floor, which I don't usually sit on the floor when I draw. But I can't blame my failure to draw Christine on that, because I drew when I was on the floor yesterday just to practice to see if anything was different, and I was able to draw her fine. So, like, this is straight up just, I think, just me subconsciously being anxious and stuff, which wouldn't surprise me. It's been an anxious summer for me, but we're gonna get into that later. I don't want to talk too much during the drawing segment, because the majority of the time that I have to spend doing this is spent on the end when I'm coloring. So I kind of want to, like, not talk anymore so that I have a bunch of time to talk when I'm coloring, especially because coloring is fairly mindless, whereas this requires, like, a bit more of my, like, thinking. So I might have to, like, stop talking soon. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna, like, completely leave you guys out of the loop. I will cut in every once in a while so that you can actually see what I'm drawing, but I might start talking a little bit less now. Sorry, guys. I originally wanted to do, like, one of those cool, I think they call them speed drawing videos, where, like, they, like, speed up the footage so that you can see the entire process, but, for some reason, my video editor does not have a function to just speed up video, which I think is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. How hard can it possibly be to speed up a video? Come on, Easy Movie Maker. I want to get a new editor soon, because this editor, like, it's okay for, like, when you're first starting off, but it just really there's just a lot of stuff that I want to do on it that I really can't. So I'm probably going to be getting a new editor soon, so I'll be able to do cooler things in my videos, so look out for that, folks. And I cannot draw this eye, goodness me. Really random side note, whenever I draw this, like, oversized hair clip beret thing, it always feels awkward, because, like, I know that hair clips aren't actually that big in real life, but, like, at the same time, if you've watched Be More Chill, which, once again, you should do, you will know that Christine is just this adorable, quirky little cinnamon roll, and I feel like an oversized hair clip just fits her personality. That probably doesn't make any sense if you haven't watched the musical, which you should, but, yeah. It just feels right for her, and, oh my goodness, drawing the top of Christine's head is the hardest thing in the world. Like, most artists, they're actually good at drawing heads, because most artists will, like, draw the oval first and then work from there or whatever. But as you noticed, I am weird, and so I start from the chin and then just work up. I don't know why. That's just how I learned to draw. But yeah, as a result, whenever I have to draw anything that's, like, round, it's just a struggle. I don't, like, I think the top of her head is wrong, but I don't know where. I'll just leave it for now. I'll come back to it. I imagine when I just, like, cut back in here and Christine had no, like, pupils or irises to her eyes, you all thought she looked, like, really demonic or something, but no, it's just that I didn't feel like drawing the pupils yet. And oh my goodness, this eye. Yeah, this is a struggle. Art is a struggle. I'm about ready to start singing that song that Tumblr made about art that I'm hopefully putting on the screen right now. So, like, before I forget, I saw on the news that there were, like, tornadoes ripping through where, like, all of my friends from my old school live. Are y'all okay? Like, seriously, are y'all fine, alive, everything's good, everything's okay? Like, seriously, because, like, I've lived in so many places that sometimes I forget what's near where I lived at one point or another. So, like, when I heard the name of the town that it was going through, I was like, I lived near there at one point, and then it hit me that it was near you guys, and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like such a bad friend. So, like, are y'all okay? Alright, we have our pencil sketch drawing thing done. Now, we're going to start going over it with black pen, and the problem is, whenever I go over things with black pen, things seem to go horribly wrong, because I will always manage to screw it up. But, you know what? If I could believe in Santa Claus for 8 years, I think I can believe in myself for, like, 10 seconds. So, let's just do this, and it's gonna go great, guys. It's gonna be excellent, okay? The problem with my black pen is that sometimes it doesn't want to draw, and it can be extremely hard to get it to draw. So now I just have two ridiculously dark circles here, whereas these aren't that dark. But, wait, what am I even saying? The buttons get colored black anyway. Like, if I'm this much of a nervous wreck just going over a picture with black pen, how in the heck do people expect me to, like, own an apartment, or care for a family, or hold, like, any kind of job? Fix it, America. So, like, people who aren't artists probably think that I'm, like, over-exaggerating how like, stressful going over this with black pen is, but, like, no, you don't understand. This is, like, the worst thing, because, like, I don't know if you really got to see a whole lot of this in the video, but, like, I have a very sketchy art style. I like to, like, I don't, like, hard lines and details and stuff are really not my department. But, like, when I'm doing this, I have to try and make it in my department. And then, like, things just go wrong when I try and do that. And then, like, over here, oh, and I messed up the shoulder again. I realized the shoulder is messed up, so then I tried to fix it, and I just now realized that it's probably messed up again. Did I mess up the shoulder? Yep, I did. Great, okay. Yeah, we're rip soul, dead, bye. I feel like I did something to mess up her right eye, but I can't figure out what it is. So she's just gonna go forever being the child with the one messed up eye that I can't fix because I'm terrible at this. Okay, so update. Drawing the lines on Christine's dress are the new most stressful thing. I feel like I messed up the top of her head somehow. But I'm too afraid to try and fix it because I don't want to mess it up any further. But you know what? We're done. We're done with this stupid thing in well, we still have to color with it because, like, our hair is black and stuff. But we're done outlining crap with it. We don't have to worry about it anymore. There's this weird thing that I discovered when I was, like, trying to make this setup, and that, like, whenever I try and erase things, the camera would shake, and I don't know what causes that even. Like, even right now, I don't know what causes that, but, to try and fix it, I have literally used Scotch tape to tape the camera to the chair. So, yeah, when I said that this is the most ridiculous setup I had ever done for a video, I was not kidding at all. This is absolutely outrageous, and I love it. As I did mention, I have been on, like, a bit of a musical theater marathonish thing. I've been listening to a lot of different musicals, and as I mentioned, Be More Chill was like the one that stuck with me that I really love. But another one that's really good that I recommend people check out, I'm sorry, I'm going to take the sketchbook away because I need to do fine details and I can't do that in this awkward crouching position. Recommendations for musicals: Waitress. Like, okay, the story of Waitress actually isn't, like, it's got some touching moments, but, like, it's not super interesting for the first half. But, like, the reason I recommend the soundtrack is because it's the most calming thing I've ever heard in the universe. I don't understand why. It just is. Like, so many of the melodies are just so hypnotic, and then other ones are so upbeat, that it has literally become my anxiety attack soundtrack. Like, whenever I'm, like, feeling anxious or whatever, I just turn that on, and it calms me down. So, if you have anxiety problems and you're looking for something to listen to try and calm it down, Waitress is, like, the #1 recommendation. I don't know how I forgot that that is a pupil and not an iris. Coloring's really mindless, she said. Everything will go perfectly fine, she said. Side note, Christine's eyes aren't this light blue color, they're actually brown, but I don't have a brown pen, and I decided to do this in only pen for some reason, so I'm sorry that I'm being inaccurate here. I'm also being inaccurate for dress, just because stripes are hard, as you can tell by my inability to draw straight lines. Another musical that I listened to on my musical extravaganza was Wicked. And I liked Wicked, I mentioned that earlier, but, like, the one problem that I had with it is that, okay, so you're telling the untold story of the Witches of Oz. Like, it's an untold story, so you can go with that in literally any direction you want. And you decided to take it in a they go to boarding school and they fall in love with the same guy plot. Like, really? You sure that's where you want to go with this? Like, there's just so many more interesting ways that you could take that concept, and they decided to go that way. So that kind of irritates me a bit. But otherwise, Wicked is amazing and should also be listened to. So, has anyone read any good books this summer? Most of my summer has been spent trying to get through that massive Sherlock book, but I've also been rereading some books from my childhood to find out if they're as good as I remember them. Spoiler alert, most of them aren't. A few days ago I went to the library and I picked up 2 different books. The first was the first book in the Spiderwick Chronicles, and the only reason I grabbed it is because the cover was extremely reminiscent of Lemony Snicket's Series of Unfortunate Events, and the text font even, the art style, the illustrations, everything was just screaming that series, so I wanted to see if it was, like, trying to be a Series of Unfortunate Events or whatever. But, like, honestly, the story isn't even that similar to a series of unfortunate events. Unfortunately, it's not that interesting either. Because it's, like, they're, like, because, like, the way the plot goes is that they're kind of like, hey, fairies exist in this universe, and this kid found a magical book describing all the fairies. You think that they would, like, describe the contents of that book, right? To, like, let you know what it's like to be in that world. Nope. You just get told that there's a book that has fairies inside it. And you don't get to know, like, much about the fairies. It's just kind of like, yeah, they exist. And I'm just like, excuse me? Like, I want to know about the fairies. I come to books for escapism, not boring real-world stories. Although I will say, I think that the main character has an interesting character arc going on, because, like, supposedly his father, like, just left him, and soon, not long after, he got into a fight with another kid at school. I think that's surprisingly dark subject matter to tackle for a children's series, so I approve of that. And, also the illustrations in the book are really good. Like, props to whoever did the artwork. I think it was the two authors together, because it said that neither one of them takes mutual credit for the writing or the artwork. They take credit for it together, so, yeah. It's okay, but, like, it's not very good. And then the other book I grabbed was the first book in, like, the Arthur trilogy. And, I mean, I'm only, like, a few chapters in, so I can't really say anything. But so far, it's just kind of describing what medieval life is like. And, I mean, that's cool, but not much is actually happening. But, like, I'm fine with that, because medieval times are weird, and it's just cool to see all their weird customs. Also, the protagonist is so hilarious. I love him. Because, like, obviously this is set in medieval England, so there's lots of Bible stuff going on. And so, like, the priest will be like, Arthur, this is what happens, this is what we believe, blah, 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 blah. And then Arthur will be like, but why, though? And I'm just like, Arthur, you are my spirit animal child. Arthur's an adorable protagonist, I'm just gonna say it right there. So, I tried to fix the top of Christine's head. And I think it actually worked. Like, honestly, it's not 100% perfect, but it's, like, 99% perfect, and I will take that. So, like, I actually did something, guys. Please feel proud of me, please. If you watched my Every Which Way Season 1 retrospective, which not many people did, at the end of the video, I mentioned that there was a character who was introduced in Season 2, who I just thought was actual human garbage as a child, and I was excited to see if they were actually as bad as I remembered. And holy crap, I think they're actually worse. Okay? Like, I feel like I might even have to make a whole video just on its own ranting about this character, because I feel like if I try and do, like, a retrospective video in addition to a rant about that character, the video is gonna be, like, 40 minutes long. And I'm trying to keep my videos on this channel, like, below 30 minutes, so, like, I don't want to ruin that whole rant with I don't want to do that whole rant right now, but I just want to rant about I'll just give you a little bit of a taste of just how much actual trash this person is. So his name is Jax Novoa, I think that's how his last name is pronounced, and he's Australian, and he's an exchange student, and he's the bad boy with the troubled past, or whatever, who got kicked out of his previous school. So, you may listen to that description and think, Wattpad? Honestly, he's, like, I don't want to call him Wattpad, he's, like, just below Wattpad quality, like, I want to call him Wattpad, but, like, Nickelodeon's ever so slightly above those standards, but, like, he's in the same vein. He's, like, actual human garbage. And here's, like, the worst example of it. So, like, remember how I mentioned that there are those Witches Council people who are, like, racist against humans and whatnot? Well, in Season 2, they basically show up and give Emma an ultimatum. They tell her, either stop dating Daniel, or we are gonna take your powers away forever. Yeah, the Witches Council sucks, I know. But, so Jax overhears all this drama, and Jax also develops a crush on Emma, because, why not? And so he decides that he is going to break up Emma and Daniel, because, I mean, the Witches' Council is gonna break them up anyway. And, like, I mean, yeah, that logic right there is questionable. But, like, there's also some questionable logic from Emma. Because for some reason, at the end of season 1, when they did the whole thing with the eclipse, like, Maddie, Diego, and Emma's powers all got taken away. But, like, Emma and Diego eventually recovered them. Maddie has not recovered them. They are currently with her mom, because apparently your powers temporarily go to someone else. That part really just was not well explained. It was just kind of thrown upon you at the beginning of season 2. But anyway. So Emma, originally she loses her powers, but she gets them back. But she decides not to tell Daniel that she has her powers back, because Daniel likes the powerless version of Emma, because when she has powers, she's constantly being hunted down by people. Which, I mean, that's still stupid by... Everyone in this show is stupid. So that's stupid by Daniel's point. But anyway, so Emma decides to not tell Daniel that she has her powers back to try and make him happy, which that's also questionable by Emma. But, so... Anyway, Daniel eventually finds out about Emma's powers, and Jax is there when this happens, because he's actual human garbage. And so, Jax, like, kind of sees how Emma is sad about this, so he wipes part of Daniel's memory with, like, an amnesia spell. So, and then Emma's like, no, like, undo that, and then that. And then they have this comedic back and forth for a few minutes where Daniel will find out about Emma's powers, and then Jax will erase his memory, and then he'll get him unerased, and he'll find out about the powers again. It's this whole thing. Eventually, Emma casts some spell to try and intervene, and Jax also casts a spell at the same time, and they both hit Daniel at the same time, and it causes him to, like, lose all of his memories, not just the ones that he had 2 seconds ago. And so, Emma's like, oh my gosh, what do we do? And then, so Jax is like, oh, well, I'll just let Daniel stay over at my house. It'll be fine. I won't do anything to him. And then Emma's just like, yeah, sure, bro. Yeah, sure. Oh, and the worst thing about this is that Emma wants to contact the Witches' Council because she doesn't know what to do in this situation. But Jax is like, no, if you call the Witches' Council, they're going to take away my powers because of what I did last time. And I'm just like, good. You deserve them taken away. You terrible, terrible person. When Daniel is staying over at Jax's house, Jax, like, gives him this absolutely disgusting clothing and haircut, and he tells him that he is really awkward around girls. Get it? Yuck, yuck, yuck. And that he is also German, so Daniel just walks around with a German accent all day. And, like, that's just so terrible. Like, I can't comprehend how much of a terrible person you would have to be to do that. It's just like, hey, you like the same girl as I do? Well, guess what? Now you're German, bye. And he was, like, Jax seemed completely fine with just leaving Daniel like that for the rest of his life. Like, no, Jax, no. So yeah, Jax Novoa is just human garbage, and I hate him so much. Another terrible thing is that, like, he keeps pulling all these pranks on Emma and her friends. Like, he explodes a bunch of gooey stuff on Emma, and then he sticks Andy to, like, the floor right in front of a bunch of non-magical people. And then he pops up in Emma's house later, and he's just like, well, didn't you... I assumed that this would make you want to learn some spells from me. And it's like, no! You're a prick! No. No one likes you. It has gotten to the point where I have literally started keeping a list of all of every single prick thing that Jax does. And it's a long list, and I'm only on, like, episode 9 out of 20. I hate him so much. And the worst thing is that the entire fandom of 12-year-old girls seems to just be completely infatuated with him because he's quote-unquote attractive, which, like, honestly, I think it's up for debate whether or not Jax or Daniel is more attractive, but, like, that's a completely different discussion that we're not going to have here. Or ever, on camera, probably. Oh, and I forgot to mention, there's a part where, like, German Daniel goes to, it's called the Seven, it's, like, the group's local hangout spot that, like, serves smoothies and stuff. Anyway, like, German Daniel goes there, and he runs into Gigi, who, thankfully, is much less irritating this season. Mainly because I think she's given, like, more to do, so she's not constantly doing her annoying reporter voice. She's allowed to do, like, a more normal voice sometimes. And, Gigi begins to suspect that maybe Daniel hit his head or something's wrong with him, so she tries to call his mom, and Jax, like, literally ruins her phone because of that. Like, he doesn't just, like, make her phone disappear or something, he literally, like, explodes her phone. And, like, Gigi is very attached to her phone because she runs the school's, like, Gossip Girl Misinformation website. So she's constantly, like, she has, like, all sorts of information to help run her website on it, and, like, I don't necessarily approve of that website, but it's still rude of Jax to just, like, destroy all her hard work and all of the data on her phone just because she wanted to, like, make one of his stupid pranks fall apart. Like, honestly, screw Jax. I hate him so much. I'm gonna have to make an entire video about this. Like, before we do the Every Which Way Season 2 retrospective, there will be an entire video that's just me ranting about how much of a trash person Jax Novoa is. Probably just going through that entire list one by one. I hate him so much. Are we done? Are we done? We just need to cover some white spots. Honestly, there aren't that many white spots. I'm impressed with myself. You go, self. We're done, folks. We finally did it. Aren't you so proud of me? Yeah, she's just really... I forgot to do the blush marks. Well, now I have to reshoot my outro again. She's supposed to be blushing in this picture. I forgot to make her blush. I have forgotten literally so much in this video. If you're wondering why these little things just popped up halfway through, it's because I forgot to draw them. And I had to add them in haphazardly. But, yeah, she's blushing because she's just so excited about play rehearsal, which is a reference that you will get if you watch the musical. But, yeah. Advice for if you want to, like, find the right color to do blush. My personal advice is to start with a pink and then add a red onto it. Because if you just do pink, well, at least these two colors I have here. If you have other colors, you can probably find a way to do it better. But with just these two colors I have here, I find that if you just do red or just do pink, it's too garish. And then, like, if you do red first and then add pink onto it, the pink doesn't dilute enough of it. But, like, if you do pink first and then red, you get, like, a nice little balance. And, like, it's not a perfectly natural color, but it's, like, a nice cartoony. It's, like, nice for my cartoony art style, okay? Anyway, I have to reshoot the dramatic outro that I just did, like, 10 seconds ago. Because I'm incompetent. So, despite the amount of self-deprecation that went on in this video, and despite all of the times when I forgot to do something that I very specifically tried to remind myself to do while drawing this, I really did have a fun time doing this. It was nice to just kind of sit back and talk to you guys, because I've been feeling pretty anxious for the past couple of weeks, like, because of the dental stuff that I mentioned, and also because this summer I've been trying to get a better idea for, like, what the heck I actually want to do with my life, and, you know, that's always a stressful thought. But, it was nice to just kind of chill back with you guys and try and draw things. So, Abby, I hope you guys had fun, too, watching me, kind of fail to make artwork. But, anyway, Abby, I will see you on Friday. Friday. Yes, Friday. I will see you on Friday.